Well, hello, General Hospital Daily Recap fans. Today's daily recap is for Thursday, January the 18th, 2024. Thursday, January the 18th. Let's see what's going on. We had some movement, so I'm going to breeze right through this. Guess who's the first person Esme goes to for help? Cyrus. And he's laying there like, why are you coming to me? you know? And she's like, well, when we saw each other in that lobby of Pentonville or whatever, because I guess I don't remember when they first ran into each other. But correct me if I'm wrong, recap land. Wasn't she old Esme the first time she ran into Cyrus? I don't think she was amnesiac Esme, right? And so Cyrus is just watching her and listening. He knows she's got her memories back, but he's just cool and collecting, right? And she's saying that my baby was kidnapped. He goes, well, why haven't you gone to the police? Nicholas took him. And so Cyrus is like, again, why have you not gone to the police? Because you said you would help me if I ever needed anything. And he is your blood. And I'm thinking, okay, girl, you're irrational. Nicholas is her blood, his blood also, through Laura, his sister. The only odd person out in this scenario is Esme. She's the only odd person out. Everybody else is related to Cyrus, right? So he ended up promising to make a phone call. And she's like, that's it? He goes, then he pulls out his Bible he has next to him. I could read you a couple of passages that might help soothe you. She was like, no, thank you. Oh, she was just Esme to her core, right? So he calls, he picks up his phone. We don't know who he calls. My gut says he's calling Laura. And he's going to alert Laura as to what's happening. We shall see. But let's face it, Cyrus might have some connections, but still, they're not going to be connections enough to find Nicholas. And Cyrus saved Nicholas, had Austin nurse him back to health, gave him a place where Austin could nurse him. Come on now. Cyrus is not going to be for her, Esme. Get out of here. So that was just interesting. And then we have Christina. The insemination was done today, so we won't know if it's going to take. I don't know how they're going to do it. Hopefully, they don't drag it out too long, especially with us dealing with the other surrogate situation. We don't need for next month, oh, she wasn't pregnant. She gets her period and got it. Let's just let this happen. Right. So Blaze gets back in town. First thing she does comes to see Christina. And Christina's like, oh, hey, Blaze. And she goes, Christina, I've been trying to reach out to you and you haven't returned my calls. Oh, yeah, I've just been busy, busy with her foundation. And she goes, yeah, I know, but wow, I mean, not to hear anything from you. And so she goes, uh, Christina, why do I feel you're pulling away from me? Did I do something? Did I say something that offended you? Because something is happening. So finally, Christina told her. She told her what she did when, they were Christmas time and she goes, our hands met each other, found their way to each other. We were holding hands, but as soon as Brooklyn walked up with Chase, you couldn't drop my hand fast enough. And so Blaze says, you know what? I'm sorry. I did do that. I'm just not used to showing public displays of affection, in public. And Christina said, you know what, Blaze? I understand that you're not out. You haven't even outed yourself to your parents. You're not comfortable with that. She's saying, but I am. And it's taken me years to get to this level of acceptance with myself that I have. And I can't let anybody make me go backwards or feel bad about who I am because I do believe in public displays of affection. She goes, now I do understand you are a public figure. And that would have some limitations. I understand that, Blaze. She's saying, but to just, my feelings just, because, you want to send me out she didn't say send me out the back door when somebody's coming in the front, make me hide in the closet, so to speak, right? Hide in the closet, jump up under your bed. Come on. So Blaze says, oh, well, and so Christina says, and, there's another reason I'm busy. She showed her the paper that she got. She goes, I might be pregnant. As of this afternoon, I might be pregnant. And she goes, you were serious. You told me you were going to be a surrogate for your sister. She goes, yes, I was serious. And hopefully it takes. And so Blaze goes, wow. And Blaze is like stunned and really going over this. And Christina's looking like, well, look, I already told you before I did it. So Christina takes the paper back. And she says, so for you could see, for we got various reasons why this probably won't work. And I just won't need that level of stress in my life with what I'm going through. Right. And Blaze says, I'm sorry. I'm not used to, and I'm sorry. She goes, oh no, and I accept your apology. But Blaze, we have to be realistic, you know? And so Blaze says, okay, so I guess this is it. And Christina says, yeah, pretty much, I guess it is. So Blaze goes to the door. Christina lets her out. She's feeling bad, but not all tore up like, oh, no, I want my Blaze back. Oh, no, maybe Christina can be needy, but she's like, nope. So she's sitting on the couch and all of a sudden there's a knock at the door. And she goes and she opens the door and there's Blaze with a big shopping bag, a reusable shopping bag. And Christina goes, Blaze, you're back. And she goes, I don't understand. And she goes, I should have held on to your hand and I'm not going to let it go again. She says, I went shopping because Christina hadn't eaten, right? She goes, I went shopping. I looked up online first. What kind of food should a woman that's just been inseminated eat? What shouldn't she eat? I got everything that's good for you, and I'm making you dinner. And Christina looks at her, really? She goes, yes. And so Christina's like, well, come on in, right? So Blaze is coming in, she's gonna make her a non-alcoholic drink and the whole 9 yards. So, and I like that because we said months ago that we think Blaze is gonna be her rock through this pregnancy. She's gonna be her support system, and Christina's gonna need it because, like she told Sonny, she couldn't do it without him. Well, Sonny's not gonna be with Christina at night and in the day. Blaze is gonna be there more for her for support than Sonny ever could, right? And Molly is going to have to kind of stay hands linked because she would end up being too suffocating, her and TJ. So that was a nice scene, nice scene. Then we have, speaking of her and TJ is talking to Jordan about it. And he goes, Mom, I want your honest opinion on how you feel about Christina being our surrogate. And so Jordan told him, well, TJ, the actual question is, how do you feel about it? And he goes, well, Christina and I had a long talk because I was apprehensive at first, but then once I talked to her, and he's just going on. And she goes, but I thought you two decided you were going to wait after the last surrogate. He goes, well, we had decided that, but then when we realized how much time it could take, it was unfair for us to have Christina make a commitment and then put her life on hold until we decide to do it. She said, because it could take some time for her to get pregnant. So while she is agreeable, we decided we would go for it. So Jordan says, okay. So then he goes, so again, Mom, how do you feel about Christina being our surrogate? And I love Jordan's answer. She goes, let me ask you something, TJ. She goes, me giving you my opinion Would it change you and Molly's decision? And he said, no, it wouldn't. She said, then son, you don't need my opinion. The only thing you need is to know I support you. I am behind you both 100%. And I would love my grandchild. That's all you need to know. And he goes, thanks, mom. So then her phone had been blowing up, and she's looking at it. He goes, what's going on? She goes, well, Curtis and I are working on trying to find out who shot him. But Curtis right now has to take a step back because, you know, he just had surgery and he's got to recuperate. But I'm continuing on. And TJ said, mom, is that wise? You're doing this all by yourself? She goes, with the permission of the mayor. She goes, yeah, but you're not super cop. Jordan, you know, chief of police, Jordan Ashford. You're deputy mayor. He's like, you don't even carry a gun. And she goes, I can handle this, TJ. So Jordan's in the alley trying to get information from her contact. And of course, guess what? Ambushed right in the alley. They take her purse. You know, she goes, you guys want cash? And she's reaching in her purse. And he goes, give me that purse. He goes, look, I'm not about to be pepper sprayed by the deputy mayor because he knew she didn't have a gun in it, right? So then she turns to walk away the other way, and then somebody comes on the other side and they sandwich her in, and they both get her both arms, and now they're taking her off. So we're getting ready to get into some stuff with that shooting. We're finally getting ready to go into that. And I hate the fact that Curtis is not able to help her, right? So Jordan may come up missing for a minute, but guess what? We don't see her on screen that much anyway. So, so now we have let's see, we got Jordan. Oh, Anna is at Charlie's drinking, reading her book on anger management, and she's waiting on a friend. And Drew comes up, he sits down, and they start talking, and Drew's just talking about how he's angry all the time, and you know, he just like Pitton talked about since coming out of Pittenville, and she goes, no, I understand. You feel blah blah blah. She's naming all these adjectives that can be out there with his feelings, and he goes, how'd you know? She goes, because I feel the very same way. I feel the very angry. And so she turned over her book, and it talked about how to control anger. And so she's talking to Drew. In the meantime, Carly is talking to Michael. Now, Carly talking to Michael, she, of course, instantly forgives him because she said, Michael, I have made the same mistake you have made more times than I can count. She says, does it hurt? Yes, it hurts that you kept something from me. She's saying, but I feel the way you felt when you found out I knew about Nina being Willow's mother and I didn't tell you. See, I know how you feel. You felt. You know how I feel. I feel the same way. Hurt. Because you should have told me. Secrets never stay secrets. He goes, I know. They always come uncovered. And she says, so she had a good talk, and he goes, but I've never seen Drew that angry. She goes, Drew is angry, yes, but Drew's angry about more than just this. Drew has been changed since Pentonville, Michael said. I understand that too well. I was changed since Pentonville. When I came out of Pentonville, I wasn't the same. And so she goes, I will talk to Drew. And she told Michael, she said, Michael, your apology road is nowhere near done. You have to make this right between you and Willow. He says, man, Mom, I know. And he goes, I'm trying. I did it to protect her. And she doesn't, she goes, Willow didn't need your protecting like that. Willow needed your honesty. As soon as you found out, Michael, you should have told us, right? You should have. So, Willow, Carly says, she's leaving. She's time for her to go because the nanny came down, said Wiley wanted Michael to come read him a story. So Michael leaves and Cardi, she leaves and she finds Drew at Charlie's. And as soon as she came and talked to Anna, and Anna told her sorry about, about her mom, and Bobby's service was just beautiful. And she goes, I'm gonna wait over here for my friend. Second time she says, I'm waiting for my friend. Well, what we find out is Jordan picks up the phone and she goes, I mean, Anna picks up the phone and she says, Jordan, are you still coming? It's fine if you have to reschedule, but I'm still sitting here. And at the same time, she's doing that, Jordan's being abducted. So we'll see how long it takes, you know, for someone to find out. Anna's concerned, but come on, people have to cancel all the time. So it may not be right away that we find out that Jordan isn't, because Jordan and TJ's dinner, Jordan had to go take that phone call, but I kind of think their dinner was over. I don't think she says one more, hold on, son. I'm hoping that's what happened, but I didn't pay enough attention and didn't want to go back and watch it because I'm hoping TJ is still sitting there and then wondering, where's my mother? Why didn't she come back and go out in that alleyway? Right. Or that back alley. Who does that? A woman alone. Come on now. A woman alone. So anyway, Drew is talking to Carly and he said, how the rest of, your conversation go with Michael? She goes, oh, look, I forgave my son. I made that very mistake more times, she tells Drew, more times than I could count. Thinking I'm doing something for somebody else's feelings or for their betterment of them so that they won't be sad, hurt, upset. I made decisions for other people. He is sorry and I understand and I forgive him. And so she goes, but you're so angry. Or he said, I'm just so angry. And she goes, yeah, Drew, but it's not just this. And he goes, no, it's not. He says, Michael and I will get past this. The bulk of my anger is at Nina. And she goes, I understand it. Because one thing Michael asked Carly, don't you want to get revenge on Nina? And she says, I hate Nina. She says, and now, Michael, I don't have to pretend to keep the peace for the family where Nina's concerned. I don't have to, whenever she walks into a room, bite my tongue. I don't have to serve her at Kelly's. Nina is out of my circle by her own doing, and that makes me happy. She says, so, am I going to be out for revenge on Nina? She said, no. She said, they'll get payback on Nina? No. She says, after losing my mother, she said, Michael, I don't have time for that. I don't have time for that emotion. But now I don't have to pretend where Nina's concerned. And she told that to Drew. She goes, look, Drew, because she goes, now we don't have to be nice where Nina's concerned. We don't have to, be pleasant. Nina, she's not a part of her. He goes, of our life. And he goes, no, but you know what? I'm gonna make Nina pay, and I know exactly how I'm gonna do it. And Carly's just looking at him like, who is this guy, right? Who is this guy talking to me? Uh-oh. Huh. So Michael comes down the stairs and Willow comes in the door and he goes, oh, you're home earlier than I thought you would be. She goes, yeah. And he said, Willow, can we talk? Oh, no, she said, how are you? Because I know you had to have a difficult conversation. She knew Carly and Drew were coming right over there. And he said, it was rough. He said, my mother forgave me pretty much right off. She says, but Drew is very, very angry. And he said some very, harsh words to me, and rightfully so. But He goes, Drew, that's another story. And she shook her. She shook her head, yeah. And she says, Nina, it took Nina 5 seconds to throw you under the bus to tell us that you have been blackmailing her for my 5 seconds. She couldn't wait to. See, I'm happy Willow saw it for what it was. She couldn't wait to tell us. Okay. And so Michael was just like, oh, but Willow, she goes, Michael, look, I can't process how I feel about this. It is going to take me some time because the men I love would not do that. If that's not what we made an agreement with each other and you broke it. Because the agreement that they made was pretty much after Willow broke the news, that she had been keeping from him, but they agreed that their marriage would be open and honest. So, but he should have said, but you know what, now that I have my turn, we're okay, we're even. So anyway, she goes, I don't know. He goes, I hate being apart from, she goes, I need time. And he's like, okay. And so Wiley comes down the stairs, Daddy, you didn't come back up to read my book. And he goes, you're right, buddy, I sure didn't. Mommy, you're here. Can we all go back to our house? I like sleeping in my room better than here. Can we go back? And so Michael looked at Willow. She looked at Michael. And then they looked at Wiley. He goes, I tell you what, bud. I'm going to get Amelia wrapped up. You and Amelia wrapped up. I'm going to take you back to the gatehouse. I'm going to read you your bedtime story. And he goes, and are you going to stay, Daddy? Are you going to stay? And he says, but we'll see. We'll see, bud. And he kind of looked at Willow and she's looking at him like, don't you tell that boy, yeah. Don't you? You gonna read him that story as many times as it takes for him to fall asleep. And then you getting your behind back up here. I love it. One thing about Willow, she's mild, she's meekable, but that woman is not a pushover. She really is not. Willow is, and I like that about her. She is strong. She's very strong. So let's go to Comment Corner. Comment Corner. Susan says, I am so glad that Josh got to tell Adam's dad. Oh, wait a minute. That's on another day. I am says Ned is no match for Michael. He is too much like Sonny and Edward. He is not like Jason. Michael is vindictive like AJ. That combination makes him dangerous. Susan says, is Esme still working for Alexis? Doesn't seem like she has been to work lately. I know. With the break-in of Windermere, does Alexis know about that? Possibly, since she still runs the paper. I know. But she's not concerned about what she has, that she has, that as she is about her son, she's not as concerned about that as she's about her son. I guess you mean her job. I'm glad Cyrus contacted Lauren Spencer. Oh, okay, so that must be for the next day too. And then my favorite part, oh, wait, oh, you're getting ahead of me, y'all. I gotta get on down here. Let's go down to here. Carly will forgive Michael because he understands him. Drew must be out of his mind. If I was Michael, I would have told, yeah, man, my dad comes before you. Hold on. Well, now that I'm coughing my head off, eyes watering, I am not gonna be able to read all my comment corners, y'all. My goodness, because you know, when you start choking, it takes some time before before your throat gets right. So, what I'm gonna say to everybody is, please, these comments are great. Look, my eyes all watery here. Please go to comment corner, the comments on the video, and go ahead and read everybody's comments, like, share, come make your own comments here. I will be back tomorrow, hopefully not choking, goodness, with another daily episode of General Hospital.